Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing? I'm just doing a little video here. I looked at something that popped up on Facebook the other day, and it was Canada versus the United States in terms of what is done in the U.S. versus what's done in Canada, and just and what we have versus what you would have in the U.S. For my American viewers and my Canadian viewers, what they have in the U.S. Like what Americans have. Um, but I couldn't really find the same thing, so now I just came across. I was looking and looking to do comparisons, but they're giving me all like the comparisons of money and this and that and housing and all the other more serious things. I was looking for more of the more fun stuff, so I couldn't really find that list, and hopefully I will. And if I do, I'm going to save it if that comes up on Facebook again, and do the comparison there. But what I got here is 10 of the most common Canadian stereotypes. I haven't really gone through this. I just scrolled down a bit to see if they're fun things or whether it was serious things and just annoying shit. But it seemed kind of more fun. It's only a top 10 list, so I'm going to go through it. And as a Canadian, I want to see if these are accurate. So let's see. Top 10 of the most common Canadian stereotypes. This is on the Odyssey Online page. I don't really know anything about this. It's what came up. One of the first things that came up when I Googled it. So let's see. 10 of the most common Canadian stereotypes. I don't know if this is based on U.S. stereotypes of Canada or if this is just something Canadian put together on things that are stereotypical, but we'll see. Need a sip. And here's Gunner. Here's his tail. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. No, you can't see it. But anyway, here we go. We say a lot. Now, before I read what the person said, we don't say a lot. In fact, I don't think I really say a. Like, what are you doing there, eh? Because we don't talk like that, generally speaking. Up north or maybe on the East Coast, but generally speaking, Canadians don't talk like that. Now, maybe because I live in Toronto, and Toronto has the biggest concentration of people in the entire country, so maybe I'm just ignorant of the rest of the country. It is a massive country, but we also do have a lot of big cities, and I know people from some of those big cities, and they don't talk like that either. But let's see what it says. I don't do this intentionally, but I guarantee every time I do use this word, I will not hear the end of it for the next week. Americans say, huh, and Aussies say, I. We all have our little word. Move on already. Well, that's what they put, but we don't generally say that. That's a stereotype. I think that comes from movies. If you go to the, oh my God, I forgot their names. They're Canadian comedians. It's Rick Moranis and Dave. I've forgotten his name. Oh crap! And now it's bugging me. But they do the Great White North thing. It was on, I believe, it was on SCTV back in the day, and they were the something brothers. They have a movie out, and it's actually a pretty good movie, and it's totally escaping me now, which sucks. But they say a lot as a stereotype, and they talk like this. There, eh? Okay, you hoser, right? Like the sort of stereotypical way you think Canadians talk. But it's funny. It'll come to me. Something with the word brew in it. Something in the word brew. It's bugging me, and I can't remember the characters' names. Maple syrup is bae, as in B-A-E, which I get. I mean, yes, we do have a lot of maple syrup here. I don't particularly eat it very often, and I don't really like it that much. It's sweet and it's tasty, but I throw it on my pancakes and maybe the odd time on like a waffle or something. But it is a big thing here, and you will find all kinds of places to buy it. And it's I do know a lot of people that love it. But speaking for myself personally, I'm not. If I never had it again, I really wouldn't miss it. But if it's offered on the table and I'm eating something that it goes with, absolutely, I'll throw it on there. I never put it on French toast, though. I'm not a cinnamon and maple syrup guy when it comes to my French toast. What I am is no cinnamon, nothing sweet. slap some cheese between it, basically make it like a grilled cheese, and dip it into ketchup. That's the way I ate it when I was a kid, and that's the way I love it. But with that being said, yeah, it's big here, but a lot of our maple syrup gets sold into the States. So I don't know. What does it say here? You are just jealous your country isn't known for their love of maple syrup because that's the shit. I put it on everything. Well, that person might. I personally don't. But I do know people. My father-in-law will actually, he won't sit and drink it, but he'll, if he's got some real maple syrup, not the store-bought, like, fake stuff, but he'll put some, and he'll sip on it like he likes it. And, you know, that's the thing. And he used to make his own, too. So maybe it is more of a Canadian thing. Well, I know it's a huge Canadian thing, but maybe other Canadians like it a lot more than, maybe I'm not liking it enough. Maybe that's it. Maybe I should turn in my Canada card. Tim Hortons is our favorite fast food. Hell no, it's not. It's big, it's huge, and people buy a lot of coffee there. But no, it's still the biggest fast food chain here still is, well, no, Tim Hortons is there, but I think it's Subway, actually, in Canada. Believe it or not, I think Subway's still the biggest one. McDonald's, in terms of Canadian, well, we have Second Cup, which I don't think you have in the States. But yeah, it sells a lot of coffee and it sells big, but it's I know a lot of people that will not go there. My dad loves the place. I go there, I get my ice caps. Admittedly, I do buy, you know, like little sandwiches, mostly when I'm just hungry because out of convenience, but I'm not super fussy about it, but the ice caps are delicious. I will say the ice caps, I am addicted to that shit. I mean, I throw rum into it too. Like I've mentioned in videos before, just, oh, buy one of those ice caps, throw some rum or some rye in it. It is like flavor heaven. It is so good. But yeah, I'm not an alcoholic. But no, it is super popular. It is big, but I you know, if Tim Hortons closed down, there'd be a lot of people disappointed, but they would just move on, you know. But I don't like to call it fast food. It's still, you know, it's got sandwiches and all the other stuff that all the other donut stores and coffee shops have. It is fast food technically, but it's still just a coffee shop to me, and I don't like coffee, so maybe it's just myself, but I do know people will line up for the coffee, but they still tend, when it comes to fast food, they're still going to McDonald's, they're still going to that sort of thing. They're not going to Tim Hortons as much. It's more for the coffee and the Timbits, the little donuts. Did you look? Punch yourself for me. All right, what is this person? What did they say about it? A little unknown fact about Tim Hortons. He was actually a hockey player. It's not really an unknown fact in Canada, I will give it that. In the 50s and 60s, who died while driving drunk after a game. Most people recognize the name in association with his multi-million-dollar coffee and donuts franchise. My personal favorite are the Fruit Explosion muffins. They are pretty good. They're messy, though. They're messy. But anyway, yeah. Another thing about Canada versus the States is most people in the U.S. don't know what a double-double is or a triple-triple. And basically what that is, I think that's something that started at Tim Hortons. A double-double is 2 cream, 2 sugar. Triple-triple, 3 cream, 3 sugar. Or milk. I think I don't drink coffee, so I drink espresso and lattes and cappuccinos. I'm not a coffee snob. I just don't really like coffee. But yeah, that's more or less what it means. 2 milk, I think it's 2 creams. 2 cream, 2 sugar when you say double-double. But anyway, that's what that is. We're super polite. Now, I haven't scrolled down to see what this person says about it. Obviously, it's written like it's written by a Canadian, so I'm assuming a Canadian did do this. The other one I wanted to do the video on was, I can tell very much that it was done by someone from the U.S., or at least someone who isn't Canadian. And one thing really gave it away, and I'll talk about that real quick at the end of the video. We're super polite. No, we're average polite. I mean, we're polite as the individual is. I don't think we're super polite. I meet assholes on the daily. I've been on our transit system in Toronto. I think any small town, even in the US as well as Canada, you're going to meet polite people because it's just ingrained into that culture. Uh, I think it's just based on the individual. I run into rude people all the time, and I'm not super polite myself. I try to be, but it's not because I'm Canadian. It's just my personality. But that's a bit of a stereotype, and it's fun to see it in movies. But being known as a country with the manners is not the worst thing to be known for. Not surprisingly, I am not sorry for this stereotype, and I'm glad it's a stereotype because that's exactly what it is. We don't get cold. Okay, well, yeah, we do. I hate the cold. I love summer. I hate when fall comes, and I know people that love the fall when the leaves change color. And yeah, it is pretty for about 2 weeks, and then everything turns to shit. It's nighttime in the middle of the day. You get up for work in the morning. It's nighttime. You spend your day at work. You go home. It's nighttime. There's no time to do anything. The streets are slushy and dirty. There's salt everywhere. You can't ride your bike. Um, it's no, it's shit. But no, we get cold. We get cold. We get cold, and we don't live in igloos. Just to throw it out there. I think most people in the U.S. understand that, but there was a little stereotype I understand going around for a while that we do live that way. No, we don't. Okay. It's not like the border was created because as soon as you cross the 49th parallel, it's extremely cold. The majority of the Canadian population lives close to the American border, which is true, um, and not in the frozen tundra. And there is a lot of frozen tundra, and there is nobody living there. That being said, I don't need to bundle up as much as my American peers during the winter, and I don't think I could go a full 12 months without some form of actual winter weather. I can. Total. If I never saw winter again, I'd be happy. And if I had the money, as much as I love Canada, I would move to California. I would not give it a second thought. Actually, no, I'd move to Japan, to be honest. I'd move to Osaka. I love it there. I love it there. But yeah, I'd rather live in Los Angeles than Toronto in terms of the weather. In terms of my love of Canada, I'd rather live in Toronto with California's weather, but that's not going to happen, at least while I'm alive. But maybe in 1,000 years, who knows? Our lives revolve around hockey. No. Now, I will be the first to say my family is a hockey family. I'm not. I'm the black sheep in that. I love mountain biking. I love biking. I love cycling. I'm more into art, performing arts, and music and stuff like that. I write poetry and stuff. I've never in my life have ever really been a jock. I played baseball for a few years. Was never good at it. But my brothers, they're amazing hockey players. They were scouted to go into the NHL at one point, but for different reasons, it just didn't work out. One was an injury, and the other one was a decision made on my brother himself. So, yeah. But hockey is our national sport. Everybody seems to enjoy watching it, at least, even if you're not into it. Because if it's on, I'll watch it. I don't know who the players are. I know the rules of the game. But it's just, people do love it here. Like it is our national sport. And it's a cool sport. I'll just leave it at that. Even though I'm not a jock, I do like watching it. And I think it's pretty cool. Now, what does it say? Growing up with my siblings playing hockey, I just remember the early morning practices and Timmy's runs, Tim Hortons. We call it Timmy's here. On a more serious note, not everyone plays hockey, but they probably did at some point early on. Well, I never did. I played road hockey. I had hockey sticks and stuff. Much to my dad's disappointment because he is a big hockey fan too. He loves hockey. He also loves baseball. So when I was into baseball, I think he was really happy about that. He even coached my team a couple times, which was a nightmare. And my brothers can agree because he coached their hockey teams a couple times, and it was not fun because he is so serious. Run, practice, skate, this. Come on. That was just, he's a jock. But, yeah, I played street hockey. Not good at it. It was just, I was a kid, and it was just us screwing around, Oh, car, and then pull the net out of the way, put the net back, and start playing again. Oh, car, pull the net away again, that kind of thing. Poutine is the best snack, and Drenchy's food. I don't know what the hell Drenchy's food is, but poutine is good. It is actually really good. I don't eat it that often. I know I have a friend who just loves it. She just adores it. But and there's different styles, you know. And if you don't know what poutine is, it's French fries with cheese curds, with gravy. It's simple. I'll add ketchup, but you can get stuff. You can get bacon thrown onto it. It is delicious. I wouldn't recommend eating it all the time because you're going to end up being like 250 pounds. But it is tasty. It's good, and people do love it here. I will agree on this one. Poutine is the best. I don't think it's the best snack, but it is a very good snack. And what does said person say? Any time of the day, the best time to have poutine. Sorry, any time of the day is the best time to have poutine. But once you turn 19 or 18 in some provinces, that is when you truly appreciate its cheesy gravy goodness. I might be missing something there because I know the legal drinking age in Canada is 19, except for Quebec. And maybe another province on that side is 18. So I don't know, maybe poutine and beer, which, I mean, when I'm hungry and I'm drinking, I can eat anything. I just need to get something in my belly, but that's a weird comparison, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, any time of the day is the best time for poutine. Sure, why not? Why not? Toque is a winter fashion staple. Well, most people outside of Canada don't know what a toque is. It's a winter hat, usually with a pom-pom on top. Is it a staple of winter? No, it's just something to keep yourself warm, and you have them in the US too. Personally, none of my hats have pom-poms on them. They're usually just flat winter hats that you'd wear. But they are everywhere, but I assume they're everywhere in the US too. They're not a new thing. And I think they're in the States, you have a different name for it, but we call them toques. I don't know where the name comes from. I do know that originally why they came up with those is sailors, I think mostly on fishing boats, they added the pom-pom on top because they'd have to keep themselves warm. And when they'd come up the stairs and things, they'd bang their head, and the pom-pom was basically just as a bumper to not hurt their heads. That's what I read. So that's true. But let's see what it says. This is a more slang than a stereotype, but Canadians are the only people who utilize the term. Yeah, I call it a toque. So yeah. I am often met with puzzled glances after mentioning the article of clothing to my American friends, which makes sense because yeah, you'd call it a toque, and they'd probably be like, huh? Because I think it's even a French word. I'm not 100% sure. But we're proud we aren't Americans. Okay, not to offend anybody, I'm not anti-American by any stretch of the imagination, not even a little bit, but we seem to embrace the Canadian flag, the maple leaf, very, very much. And when we go places, like I've been to Japan, as I've mentioned, and they've asked me if I'm American. And I say, oh, you American? Or oh, you're American? Oh, no, I'm Canadian. Oh, Canada. You know, and it's just like they're more surprised because there's more tourists from the States there than Canada, I guess. But it's just like it's when someone's like English and Irish, maybe, I don't know. It's like, oh, or I'll say English versus Wales because I met someone. It was a lady I met or chat with. Oh, you're English? No, it's Wales. I'm just like, oh, okay, calm down there. But because she just seems so aggressive, I was just like, all right, but I'm not aggressive like that. But when people think we're from the States, we're always like, no, Canadian, Canada, yep. But it's not that we're anti-American. It's just we're not American. We're not from the U.S. We're Canadian. So we just like to make that clear. You know, we're not from that country. I guess it's the same thing. Like I live in a very Korean neighborhood. And if sometimes someone might call them Chinese if they're not from the neighborhood, and they're like, no, Korean. Like very quick to correct that, as I guess we are. Anyway, what does it say? This might might offend all you patriots out there, but in my opinion, Canadians aren't as in your face about being Canada as Americans are. We are, however, proud of the stuff we don't do in contrast to all the dumb stuff that Americans are blindly proud to have done. Okay. It's like I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm going to end this thing off with something offensive, borderline offense. Which, sorry, it just kind of made me laugh. It's like, but yeah, I guess so. I never looked at it from that perspective because the U.S. has done a lot of great things, inventions, and everything else, just as other countries in the world have. All countries do dumb things, okay? Like, but yeah. Anyway, okay, here's one I sort of mentioned. We live in igloos amongst polar bears and moose. Honestly, like I already said, we don't. We don't live in igloos, and I have never seen a polar bear or a moose in the wild. I have friends that have seen moose in the wild that live very much north of me in the more desolate parts of Ontario, but I personally have never seen a moose. I think that would be amazing. I've seen lots of deer and I've seen a bear once and lots of coyotes because there's coyotes right here in the city that live right in the field next to me. And even when I'm downtown Toronto, I've seen coyotes. So, but no moose. You're not going to see a polar bear anywhere near Toronto. So, but anyway, what to say? Honestly, I wish we did. Igloos are cheaper and houses, and it's totally acceptable to light a fire in the middle of your room. Well, you go right ahead and live in an igloo. Go right ahead. I don't like camping, so an igloo isn't going to work for me if I can't stand a tent. Anyway, so in the middle of your polar bears and moose, on the other hand, are large, scary animals and traffic hazards. I've heard of some northern cities you cannot dress in white on Halloween in case you get mistaken for a bear. I've never heard of that before, but I mean, a polar bear could be 12 feet tall. If you're a 12-foot tall human, you're probably, hopefully, you're in the entertainment business somehow. So here you have it. Here it's a closure to the thing, the top 10 things. But now here's one other one I read, and this is why I was looking for the other list I found the other day, or came up on Facebook the other day. It was it made me laugh. It goes, Americans say we're going out and about. Canadians say we're going oot and a boot. And I was like, what? I was almost offended by that. And I don't get offended easily. I was like, no Canadian in the history of Canadians has ever said oot and a boot. Okay? We say out. We say about. Shout. We don't go, oh, shoot. Like, huh? Like, say it loud. Shoot. You mean shout? You know, we don't talk like that. I mean, maybe somewhere like in like some small hick town way up north, or possibly somewhere on the East Coast, you know. But no, we say out. I have never met a Canadian ever who says oot. You know, put on your boot, put on your, or it's a boot time to put on your boots. You know, like, no, it's not something we say ever. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, that'd be kind of cool. It was kind of a bit of a silly video, and I was really upset I didn't find the list I was looking for, because it talked about Tim Hortons versus, I think you guys have Coffee Time, and just little differences. You know, we order a 2-4 beer, you would say a 24. You guys order a fifth, you buy a fifth, we buy a Mickey. When it comes to alcohol, you know, it was just different things like comparisons, but I could not find a list like that. It's bugging me. But if I do, I will definitely do another video, a follow-up video, and talk about it. Anyway, I gotta upload this, and then I have to go to actually on my YouTube and start working on some clickbaits, because I'm way behind, because my new job is just, I don't have the time. I'm super sleepy at night. I'm still, even though I've been there a couple months, I'm not used to the transition of having to go to bed early and getting up early, as opposed to sleeping in, getting up late, and coming home from work at like 1 in the morning. It's like opposite, and it's still weird to me. But anyway, if you watch the whole thing, thank you for watching, and if you want to leave a comment below, and I will definitely get back to you, I guess, and until the next one, bye.